Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel, The Primordial Law. Volume 2, Julie Insect Valley. Chapter 108-136 Capturing Shi Luyu. 108th of Volume 2. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. Li Wei knew that every member of the hidden sect was a Nine Springs Supreme. Just how powerful must Yin who had been a hidden one 24 years ago, have become? His aura was so overwhelming that it rivaled that of some first commanders. Hidden Lord said, Wei, though your innate talent is extraordinary, allowing you to pass all 3 trials of the psychic mural and become a divine hidden one, your current cultivation is still insufficient. You must reach the 5th stage of the 5 Seas realm before you can officially emerge from seclusion. Only then will we feel secure in trusting all hidden ones and the hidden sect's resources to you. For now, the hidden one's affairs for this 60-year cycle will be handled by Yin for the Dao Seed realm and Yin Shi San for the 5 Seas realm. Li Wei asked, and what about Yin Ju? Yin Shi San laughed heartily. In the 5 Seas realm, Yin Ju is naturally the strongest in combat. But those with high martial path talent naturally focus more on cultivation. I, on the other hand, excel at handling these miscellaneous administrative tasks. Li Wei asked, may I inquire where senior brother Yin Shi San serves in the government? Yin Shi San glanced down, noticing a corner of his official robe exposed. He quickly tucked it away and smiled. There's nothing to hide. I am currently serving in the attendant hall of the Lizhou governor's manor. Through the imperial system, I have access to first-hand intelligence on all of Li Prefecture. Wei, you can no longer use the identity of Sima Qin. Zhang Ning has already ordered the attendant hall to investigate you. The attendant hall in each prefecture assisted the governor's manor in overseeing the major sects and influential clans, while also reporting directly to the Phoenix Terrace. Yin Shi San had already come into contact with Zhang Ning. She won't be in Li Prefecture for long. So let her investigate, Li Wei said with a smile, his gaze turning to Yin senior brother Yin is your public identity within the Coffin Sea Merchant Guild. A flicker of surprise crossed Yin usually calm, deep eyes. How did you know? Li Wei replied, since the Coffin Sea Pavilion is secretly controlled by the hidden sect, how could such a vast source of wealth as the Coffin Sea Merchant Guild not be guarded by powerful hidden ones? Senior brother Yin claims to be in charge of Dao Seed realm affairs, but in reality, you oversee all of the hidden sect's worldly affairs, holding the ultimate decision-making power. The hidden sect's influence in the mortal world and its ability to communicate with and gather information from the outside world must necessarily pass through the Coffin Sea Pavilion and the Coffin Sea Merchant Guild. The Coffin Sea Pavilion operates at a higher level, and I suspect its leader is the hidden one from the previous 60-year cycle. Naturally, the Coffin Sea Merchant Guild falls under senior brother Yin jurisdiction. A smile finally appeared on Yin stern face. I have no objections to the ownership of this cycle's divine hidden one. To pass all 3 trials of the psychic mural, one's martial path talent must be unparalleled. But their minds must be at least passable, or it would be a disaster for the hidden sect. Li Wei asked, Hidden Lord, now that the Zhu Li tribe and the 4 great sects have openly turned hostile, has war broken out yet? At the high level, several battles have already taken place around Yaoguan, resulting in casualties on both sides. Mysterious experts from the Ancestral Realm and the Zhu Li Dao Academy have also sent scouts to probe the situation. The armies raised by the Sui sect and the Sanchen Palace are primarily stationed in Zhu Li City and on Kandli Ancestral Mountain. They clearly believe that capturing Zhu Li City and crushing the Kandli tribe will break the Zhu Li tribe's will to resist. The Buddha's Salvation Fodu army from Guanshan has already captured Divine Prison City on the northeastern border of Li Prefecture and is advancing south along the Mengshan mountain range. The Earth Wolf King's army's Snow Wolf Cavalry, starting from Shu Prefecture, has used the underground Blood River to pass through Han Prefecture and is now massing on the western Bone Plains, the westernmost part of Li Prefecture. At the Snow Wolf's speed, they can cross the 2,600-mile distance over mountains and rivers in just a day and a night, reaching Zhu Li City's walls or attacking Yaoguan and threatening Burial Immortal Town. In addition, several forces in Ji Prefecture to the north are stirring restlessly, likely at the invitation of the Sui sect and the Sanchen Palace, hoping to join the fray and claim a share of the spoils. We haven't detected any trace of the demon soldiers and generals from Heavenly Cliff Ridge yet. That's precisely what worries me the most. We have no idea where they'll strike from. When the demon clan invades, it leaves a trail of white bones for 1,000 miles. They truly devour humans, like locusts sweeping through a field. Li Wei frowned deeply, puzzled. With the situation so critical, why did the Hidden Lord come to the immortal realm space? If a sudden war erupts outside, won't the hidden sect be left leaderless? The Hidden Lord laughed heartily. You underestimate the hidden sect, boy. There's more than one Hidden Lord. Just from what I know, the Hidden Lord from the previous 60 years cycle is still alive. And the one before that? Li Wei asked. The Hidden Lord shook his head, indicating he didn't know. Each generation's divine hidden one is taught and guided by the previous Hidden Lord. The hidden lords and hidden ones from even earlier generations long ago withdrew from worldly affairs. Most have passed away, and nearly all the survivors are pursuing eternal life. To be honest, even I don't know how many Immortal Realm experts the Zhu hidden sect truly harbors. Li Wei thought to himself, no wonder the hidden lord is so confident. Just from the Zhu hidden sect's elite-focused approach, the power accumulated over these 60-year cycles must be terrifying. What is the inner core hidden foundation? This is the inner core hidden foundation, the inner core hidden foundation of the Zhu tribe. The hidden lord said, the main reason I came to the Immortal Realm space was for two things. One of them is to help you resolve the threat posed by the Six Desires Talisman. Take off your Nightwalker's garment and lure Shi Luyu here. Li Wei complied, removing the garment and asking, have we changed plans? The hidden lord nodded. War is imminent. Yang Shenjing of the Sui sect is a cunning and formidable strategist who won't reveal all his strength openly. Guan Shan, Heavenly Cliff Ridge, and even the Thundercloud sect and Dragon sect are all major variables. No one knows how much power they'll commit. Moreover, there's a deeply hidden internal traitor within the Zhu tribe. That's why I can't predict the outcome of this battle. You hidden ones from this 60-year cycle are too young to participate. You are the seeds of the hidden sect. Before the chaos ends, you must disperse. Either go into hiding or leave Li Prefecture. My greatest concern is you, the future divine hidden one. Which of the two paths I prepared for you will you choose? The hidden lord pointed to Yin and Yin 13. Li Wei asked, should I hide within the Coffin Sea Merchant Guild or join the Imperial Court? Yin replied, not within the guild, but follow the fleet the Coffin Sea Merchant Guild is preparing to depart Li Prefecture via the Shui River. Along the way, we have a mission, to seize this opportunity to eliminate the Sui sect's branch halls and outposts in various prefectures. The Sui sect's true foundation lies in the Shui River, not Li Prefecture. Yin Shi-san added, most of the imperial officials and soldiers are evacuating Li Prefecture soon to preserve their strength. If you come with me, I suspect we'll likely head to Lingxiao City, or perhaps the prefecture garrison. Don't worry, with your senior brother here, you won't be sent to the front lines. Li Wei pondered for a moment, I'd like to return to Yaoguan first and then make my decision. Are you going to see Kai Yutong, Li Ling, or Yaoan? Hidden Lord asked with a smile. The young surging spring realm martial mystic cultivators who survived the Mangshan Grand Festival have already been escorted to the Zhu Divine Temple by clan elders. You probably won't be able to see Kai Yutong for now. Li Wei asked, what's the other reason you came here, Hidden Lord? To kill Yao Qian. Hidden Lord's eyes instantly turned sharp. Shi Luyu, first commander of the Earth Wolf King's army, soared across the emerald grassland at lightning speed. He paused occasionally to check his bearings and observe his surroundings. His cultivation was unfathomably deep. Just a few days ago, he ventured deep into the Immortal Realm space, hoping to strike it lucky. Instead, he witnessed an Immortal Realm elder spill his blood across the desolate wilderness in a horrific spectacle that sent him fleeing in terror. He had never trusted his luck. As he was about to leave Burial Immortal Town, he suddenly sensed the fluctuation of the Six Desires Talisman. His heart filled with a mix of surprise and delight. He followed the trail all the way to this undulating grassland dotted with small hills. Before long, he spotted Li Wei, roasting meat over a fire beneath three towering black trees atop one of the hills. The aroma of sizzling meat filled the air. Ha ha ha. Shi Luyu let out a strange laugh. With a flash, he landed beside Li Wei on a stone stool he had prepared in advance, throwing his arm around the young man's neck. Good lad, you're still alive. How have you managed to hold out this long? Li Wei continued roasting the meat, unfazed. What do you think? After being struck by the Six Desires Talisman, what else could I do? Shi Luyu's expression darkened. He scrutinized Li Wei, who looked remarkably energetic. Impossible. It's been over 2 months. 6 times a day. Are you trying to scare me? Li Wei chuckled. Just because you can't do it doesn't mean I can't. Shi Luyu saw that Li Wei was calm and composed, showing no fear of him at all. In fact, it seemed as if he had been deliberately waiting for him. A bad premonition surged through him. He immediately clawed at Li Wei's neck. Boy, what trick are you playing? Don't try to intimidate Sixth Master here. Li Wei's face turned pale with terror. He gasped, If this is just a bluff. Why would I have prepared a stone stool for you in advance? Could it be? Shi Luyu's expression shifted again. Suddenly, he felt layers of invisible force pressing down on him, as if 9 layers of heaven were crushing his body. The stone stool beneath him exploded with a loud bang. Realizing he had been tricked, he tightened his grip on Li Wei's neck while trying to stand up and flee. Suddenly, his shoulder sank under the weight of an unknown hand. His body was pinned down, unable to rise. His entire arm went numb, leaving him helpless as Li Wei slipped free. Shi Luyu was drenched in cold sweat, his face stiff as he forced a smile. May I ask if a senior from the hidden sect has graced us with their presence? Hidden Lord stood tall behind Shi Luyu, his palm resting lightly on the man's shoulder. His voice was deep and resonant as he replied, Why must I necessarily be from the hidden sect? Shi Luyu cautiously said, from what I observed, that young man has already broken through to the Five Seas realm. His innate talent is extraordinary, so it's likely he has caught the eye of the hidden sect. Furthermore, Senior brought me here, probably to help him remove the Six Desires talisman. This shows just how highly the hidden sect values him. Seeing the terrifying aura behind him remain silent, Shi Luyu knew he had guessed correctly. He immediately recovered from his despair and said, in that case, I've actually done something meritorious. Meritorious. The Hidden Lord scoffed. For unearthing talent for the hidden sect. Now that he knew the Hidden Lord wouldn't kill him for the time being, Shi Luyu's courage surged. Enduring the pain in his shoulder, he forcefully circulated his spiritual power. Boom. A cloud of green fire, hot enough to melt steel, erupted from his body, engulfing the entire hill. His physical form rapidly shrank, breaking free from the Hidden Lord's grasp. He then activated his earth evasion technique and burrowed into the ground. Not bad. No wonder you, this lecherous demon, have managed to survive until now. The Hidden Lord chuckled, extending his 5 fingers into the air. A gust of wind swept across the prairie. Suddenly, dozens of rivers of spiritual chi surged from the earth, flipping the entire geological layer of the hill 100 yards away. Blank. End of chapter. Novel. The Primordial Law. Volume 2. Julie Insect Valley. Chapter 109, 137, The Eldest Master of the Earth Wolf King's Army. 109th of Volume 2. Translator. Shadow Knight AK. Editor. Shadow Knight AK. Terrified screams and curses erupted from the depths of the upturned earth in the distance. Shi Luyu was tossed into the air like a dirt monkey, then slammed back down, his body completely out of his control. In midair, long rivers of spiritual chi snaked and flowed like intelligent flood dragons, coiling around him and pinning him down. Roar. At this critical moment, Shi Luyu roared, green flames erupting from every pore of his body, shooting skyward. From his mouth, he spat out an axe-shaped spiritual artifact, its crimson blade etched with countless profound scriptures. He swung it at the rivers of spiritual chi constricting his body. The Hidden Lord flickered, soaring into the air and shattering all the scriptures. He snatched the axe-shaped spiritual artifact and seized it in his hand. With a resounding thump, Shi Luyu, his body as gaunt as a skeleton, couldn't withstand the onslaught of dozens of spiritual chi rivers. He was pinned to the ground, struggling in vain. The tighter he fought, the tighter the coils became, making it impossible for him to breathe. His bones creaked ominously. Shi Luyu wailed, screaming, I surrender. I surrender. Stop it. On a nearby hill, Li Wei watched the horrifying scene of Shi Luyu being pinned down on the shattered earth. His heart pounded with shock, his emotions churning within him. With a wave of his hand, the world turned upside down, even the first commander of the Earth Wolf King's army had been subdued. How profound was the Hidden Lord's cultivation? Shi Luyu, already unfathomably powerful, could instantly teleport 100 yards away, his green flames turning the earth into scorched earth. Yet he couldn't even fight back. Yin Shi San, Yin Shi San, and Yin Shi Si watched with fervent gazes, their eyes filled with longing and admiration. The Hidden Lord, wielding a 5-foot-long crimson battle axe, approached, not running anymore. There's nowhere to run. Shi Luyu was filled with regret, wishing he could slap himself. If he had known, he never would have tracked them here, never would have entered this immortal realm space. After much thought, he realized the root of his troubles lay in sending Li Wei to the hidden sect, setting the stage for this disaster. The Hidden Lord said, since you've calmed down, let's start by removing the Six Desires talisman. No. Shi Luyu shook his head violently, gritting his teeth, if I don't remove the Six Desires talisman, this Dharma King might still survive. But if I do, I'm doomed. The Hidden Lord's gaze darkened. He pressed the battle axe against Shi Luyu's chest, forcing his ribs to sink to their limit. Just a little more pressure, and a dozen of your bones will snap. Your lungs and chi-si probably won't survive either. Shi Luyu's face flushed crimson and purple, his eyes bulging, but he stubbornly refused to yield. I didn't expect him to be such a tough nut to crack. This lust-crazed barbarian bandit's defiance exceeded the Hidden Lord's expectations. He raised his battle axe, the blade hovering between Shi Luyu's legs. For someone like you, castration would be more painful than death, wouldn't it? You. Shi Luyu was terrified, but quickly regained his composure. He let out a mournful wail. Cut it off, then. It's no big deal. Ever since I crawled out of the wolf's den all those years ago, this thing's been useless anyway. What's the point of keeping it? Enduring immense humiliation, his dignity trampled underfoot, his old wounds cruelly laid bare, he choked back tears and chanted, spring may fade, yet it always returns, even when people approach, the birds sing on, unafraid. Li Wei knew exactly what the wolf's den meant. He hurried to the Hidden Lord's side. Don't trust him. This Six Desires Dharma King was still trying to get his hands on Yang Qingxi just a few months ago. Shi Luyu retorted, bullshit. It was you who wanted the reward, you who wanted to hear her stream flow. Li Wei felt curious gazes turning toward him. He quickly said, that's slander.
He's slandering me. They insisted on giving me the reward. Didn't you ask for it yourself at the Chang'an gang's mansion? I remember it perfectly. Shi Luyu roared. Li Wei felt like he'd shot himself in the foot. This matter was difficult to explain clearly, and the more he tried, the more likely he was to be misunderstood. He calmly replied, I was just putting on a show. With that, he quickly retreated. But then, Yin'er Shi suddenly asked in a low voice, what does blood flowing like a stream, tears flowing like a river, stream flow, mean? Li Wei couldn't tell if she was genuinely clueless or doing it on purpose. He replied, Yang Qingxi and I are sworn enemies. If the day ever comes when she falls into my hands, I'll make her blood flow like a stream and her tears flow like a river. Ha ha. Yin'er and Yin Shi-san's expressions turned awkward. Yin'er Shi-san said sternly, it's not that simple. Yang Qingxi's cultivation is formidable. As a 9 springs pure immortal physique, she's the top talent of the younger generation in the Sui sect, and her intelligence and cunning are also exceptional. Making her blood flow like a stream won't be easy. Are you really that clueless? Li Wei stared at Yin'er Shi-san, his expression immediately losing its composure. He desperately wanted to avoid this topic. Yin'er suggested, why don't we plant a 6 desires talisman on him too? Shi Luyu's face paled in terror, I'm not lying. If it weren't a matter of life and death, what man would reveal such a humiliating, dignity-shattering secret? Would any of you? If you swear by the Zhu Li gods to spare my life, I'll immediately help him remove the 6 desires talisman. The hidden lord neither swore nor planted a 6 desires talisman. He suddenly raised his head. The entire grassland fell eerily silent. Even the wind vanished. Boom. 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 The ground began to tremble slightly, growing increasingly violent. Within a few breaths, the earth transformed into a surging ocean of waves, tossing those standing upon it like they were cresting mountain peaks and plunging into deep valleys. Roar. 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 Deep beneath the surface, muffled roars echoed, wolf howl, tiger's roar, and the dragon's roar. Shi Luyu's eyes lit up with delight as he lay pinned to the ground. He burst into unrestrained laughter, you're all dead. You're all dead. Ha ha ha. Boom. Dozens of meters away, 2 small hills exploded, sending a massive cloud of earth and grass soaring into the sky. 8 dragon-headed bronze wolves, each as large as a mountain, erupted from the ground in a row, radiating a thick, bloody stench. Each was 20 to 30 meters long, with sharp fangs and claws, exuding raw power. Their dragon-like heads, wolf-like bodies, and bronze scales were covered in ancient patterns. Their eyes burned with flames. The hidden sect disciples standing before them looked as insignificant as matchsticks. These creatures had absorbed dragon souls and consumed the blood of multiple ancient immortal giant beasts. In the Earthwolf King's army, they were known as Earth Dragons, and they were unstoppable in sieges and attacks. Clatter. The sound of iron chains echoed through the heavens. Each of the 8 Earth Dragon wolves wore 2 spiritual artifact iron chains, each as thick as a bull, around its neck. These chains were connected to a palace-sized carriage that had emerged from the ground behind them. The carriage was 7 meters square and was itself a spiritual artifact, resembling a grand palace enveloped in radiant scriptures and spiritual qi. The aura emanating from within the carriage was as powerful as a god descending to earth, even more formidable than the combined power of the 8 Earth Dragon wolves. The driver of the carriage was none other than Shi Zhoujai. His tall, imposing figure stood proudly on the 4-foot-wide platform outside the carriage. Holding a long whip crackling with purple lightning, he laughed heartily. Lao Lu, could it be that the sky has failed to satisfy you? Or are you now testing the tightness of the earth's crevices? Shi Luyu, pinned to the ground and unable to move, roared, stop your damn nonsense and just strike. I'm about to be played to death. Master, save me. The hidden ones present were visibly shaken. Yin'er and Yin Shi-san, with their higher cultivation and greater understanding of the world, didn't dare even breathe deeply. Even Li Wei, a martial mystic cultivator who had only arrived in this world a few months ago, knew the formidable reputation of the Master. The second in command of the Earthwolf King's army, he was often the one in charge, coordinating and deploying all matters. Li Wei glanced at Hidden Lord, whose eyes behind his metal mask remained calm, and finally steadied his nerves. Though inside the carriage, the Lord's voice echoed from all directions, his tone flat, truly worthy of the hidden sect of the ancient myriad clans. Just a slight display of your abilities, and you're already this impressive. What shall I call you? Hidden Lord replied, Yin Jun. Yin Jun, I've been invited to come across thousands of miles to see you. Shouldn't you now come into the carriage to meet me? The Lord's voice carried a domineering tone, his words sharp and cutting, as he sought to seize the initiative before the secret negotiations began. The Hidden Lord didn't board the carriage. With his hands clasped behind his back, he smiled. In Li Province, the Zhu Li clan are the masters. If the Lord comes as a guest, we welcome you wholeheartedly. But if you come as an enemy, you may never return to Shuzhou. Ha ha ha, what a bold claim. After the laughter subsided, a brief silence fell over the carriage, followed by a sudden thunderclap. The Julie clan have no sincerity at all. The Hidden Lord retrieved a 2-foot-long metal box from his cosmic pouch and held it out in his palm. Sufficient benefits or sincerity. The Lord suppressed his anger and spoke quickly. Could the contents of this box be? The Yin Jun replied, indeed. It's the treasure the Heavenly King has been dreaming of. Of course, if the Lord is interested, you're welcome to claim it for yourself. Inside the carriage, the Lord, dressed in a gold-trimmed official's robe, sat alone, playing chess with black pieces. Across from him, a hand hung suspended in the air. Only the forearm and palm remained, accompanying him in the game. The Lord paused, then tossed his piece back into the jar. He realized his opponent was exceptionally clever, and that he was already being led by the nose, even being lured into a trap. The Lord took this Yin Jun very seriously. After a moment of contemplation, he said, "Are you sure you want to discuss such a grave matter in front of these young ones?" The Hidden Lord replied, "All members of the hidden sect are trustworthy. I can stake my life on it." The Lord understood perfectly well that the Yin Jun had once again passed the problem back to him. If he insisted on having the Hidden Lord board the carriage to pay his respects, it would be a sign of distrust toward Shi Zhoujai and Shi Luyu. However, the matter was of such great importance that no word of it could leak out. While the Yin Jun dared to stake his life on it, the Lord couldn't gamble so recklessly. Young people are always so full of themselves, speaking too confidently. They haven't yet suffered a major setback, the Lord said, subtly putting the Yin Jun in his place. His tone then softened into a warm smile. Yin Jun, please board the carriage for a discussion. Though he had successfully forced the Yin Jun to accept his invitation, the Hidden Lord felt no joy at all. The Lord's use of the term, young people, clearly revealed that he had seen through the Yin Jun's disguise and true age. This demonstrated the Lord's terrifying insight, experience, and cultivation. The Hidden Lord was no longer young, but it depended on who he was being compared to. Stepping onto the Earth Dragon Wolf carriage, the Hidden Lord held the metal box in his hands and pushed open the door. From the outside, the interior was pitch black. All light was completely absorbed, as if stepping inside would plunge one into an abyss from which there was no escape. Another show of force. Without hesitation, the Hidden Lord walked in with the casual grace of a stroll in his own garden. What's the meaning of this? Shi Luyu, eager to regain his freedom, quickly stood up and squinted at his master's 8-dragon chariot. Shi Zhoujai, sitting outside the chariot, spread his palms to Shi Luyu, indicating he had no idea either. The other hidden ones, including Yin who was responsible for external affairs, all wore bewildered expressions. When had the Yin Jun established contact with the Lord? Why hadn't he gone through them? Which channel had he used instead? It seemed the hidden sect had its own independent operating mechanism. Blank. End of chapter. Novel. The Primordial Law. Volume 2. Julie Insect Valley. Chapter 110 138 Subversion. 110th of Volume 2. Translator. Shadow Knight AK. Editor. Shadow Knight AK. Li Wei recalled the Hidden Lord's earlier words. To minimize casualties, the hidden sect had actually subverted the Earth Wolf King's army. Ally with distant powers while attacking those nearby. Shu Prefecture, where the Earth Wolf King's army was stationed, was thousands of miles away from Li Prefecture, separated by Han Prefecture. The phrase, ally with distant powers, seemed simple enough, but subversion was no easy feat. Persuading the Earth Wolf King's army to switch allegiances and serve the Zhu tribe was a task as difficult as climbing to the heavens. The key to it all must lie within that metal box. The Hidden Lord sat across from the Lord. The arm that had held the chess piece had long since vanished. The Lord opened the metal box, and a blinding silver light erupted, filling the spacious room. Taoist chants echoed, transforming into a vast ocean of scriptures that seemed to open a gateway to another world. Bang! He immediately slammed the metal box shut. After composing himself, the Lord's face smoothed out, and he chuckled. To willingly hand over treasures like the immortal star, it seems the so-called foundation of the 10,000 ancient myriad clans is nothing more than a facade. Have you been driven into a corner by Yang Shencang? The Hidden Lord studied the chessboard, then scanned the room. There's no need to probe the hidden sect's strength. Even with their surface-level power, the Zhu tribe is far stronger than the Sui sect. If the 9 great priests launched a joint attack, would Yang Shencang survive? You don't really think giving you the immortal star is a good thing, do you? That would be a great disappointment. The Lord set the metal box aside, speaking slowly and deliberately. Anyone other than the Son of Heaven who possesses the immortal star faces certain death. In the entire Lingxiao realm, only Yu Yaozi might barely be able to withstand its power. But given the current situation, even if she were to obtain it, she wouldn't live past the year's end. But as long as the secret doesn't leak, the immortal star will remain the world's greatest treasure. Currently, only our 2 clans know about it. In other words, the Zhu tribe retreated to advance, offering both millet and rope to seize the Earth Wolf King's army's greatest weakness. The Hidden Lord asked, will the Heavenly King agree? Who in the world could refuse the immortal star? The Lord forced a bitter smile and asked, "Tell me, what are your conditions?" In this battle, the Earth Wolf King's army must fully support the Zhu Li tribe, including the Heavenly King's personal attendants, the Hidden Lord stated directly. The Great Lord replied, "Agreed." "Kill Yao Qian," the Hidden Lord demanded. The Lord naturally wouldn't agree to everything. Yao Qian has caught the eye of the second palace master of Lingxiao Palace. The price for harming him is something the Zhu Li tribe can't afford, let alone us. Does the Lord believes that the Zhu Li tribe is pushing this onto you precisely because they dare not kill him themselves? The Hidden Lord countered. The Lord smiled without answering. "I will personally kill him." The Hidden Lord's tone was resolute. He continued, "I have my own measure of how much the Earth Wolf King's army truly contributes. If you stand idly by, merely killing a few stragglers, then the words of the Heavenly King refining the immortal star will spread quickly throughout the Lingxiao realm, the Zhu Li tribe won't lose anything. But the Earth Wolf King's army will be finished." The Lord's face darkened. Once this reign is on, it seems impossible to remove. Perhaps the Zhu Li tribe should fully support the Earth Wolf King's army. You have wealth, resources, and provisions, while we are fearless, willing to fight, and ready to risk our lives. It's a perfect match. First, sweep through the southern territory, then claim the world. Ha ha ha. The Hidden Lord laughed heartily. That's a clever calculation, but I'm not a fool. Once the Heavenly King breaks through to that realm with the help of the immortal star, the rains will no longer be able to restrain him. I estimate it will take him 10 years at most. By then, the Zhu Li tribe won't dare to give him orders. The Lord had been staring into the Hidden Lord's eyes, desperately trying to discern the truth. Handing over the immortal star was a brilliant move, enough to turn the Earth Wolf King's army into the Zhu Li tribe's personal hitmen. But who in the entire cultivation world would agree to this? And why should they? The Lord asked himself. If he were in the Hidden Lord's position, he would never have willingly surrendered the immortal star. The Hidden Lord continued, "The Zhu Li tribe can offer limited support to the Earth Wolf King's army, but you are not cut out to contend for the throne. Have you heard the news? The Due Calamity Crossing Temple is interfering in the worldly affairs." The Lord's eyes flashed with divine light. A Taoist sect that has remained hidden for 1,000 years is finally abandoning its seclusion and preparing to vie for the throne to conquer the world. The Due Calamity Crossing Temple has long been shrouded in mystery, with countless legends circulating about it throughout the Lingxiao realm. It was said to only emerge during times of great calamity. Even someone as influential as the Lord knew little about the immortality pills it produced, 10 pills every 60 years. Legend had it that the Due Calamity Crossing Temple was the only place where these pills could be refined. Just by possessing the immortality pills, one could only imagine how terrifyingly powerful they had become after 1,000 years of seclusion. The Hidden Lord said, "No, they are merely intervening in worldly affairs, not fully entering the world. Currently, they seem to have chosen the Zuaoqiu clan, intending to support them in ascending to power and replacing the Lingxiao Palace to restore order to the realm. So, between the Earth Wolf King's army and the Zuaoqiu clan, whom do you think the Zhu Li tribe will choose, Lord?" The Lord gave a sardonic smile. "Of course, we will follow the prevailing trend. It would be quite fitting for the true dragon to emerge from the southern territory." After removing the 6 desires talisman from Li Wei, Shi Luyu vanished underground with the 8 dragon carriage. "Little Li, since we're all on the same side now, I'll definitely arrange a stream flow for you next time." Ha ha ha. Shi Luyu's laughter echoed from the depths, growing fainter and fainter. Li Wei's expression remained unchanged, completely ignoring the curious glances from the crowd. The Hidden Lord's black robe billowed in the wind, rustling softly. He turned to the others and said, "You must have many questions in your hearts, don't you? To plot with a tiger is to court danger. If the Earth Wolf King's army can turn coat at the crucial moment, the Sui sect and the San Chen Palace will surely suffer a crushing defeat," Yin'er said. "Wei, come with me." The Hidden Lord led Li Wei aside, creating a spiritual barrier with his spiritual qi. It was clear that his earlier casual remarks had been deliberately staged for the Lord's benefit. He would never truly reveal such a critical secret, one that could determine the fate of their entire clan, to too many people. The Hidden Lord asked, "Have you heard of the immortal star?" Of course Li Wei had. Master Coffin had explained it in detail. His heart pounded in shock. The Hidden Lord gave the immortal star to the Earth Wolf King's army. This. The Hidden Lord smiled wryly. "Do you know what the most difficult and uncertain aspect of this decisive battle is?" Li Wei understood that the Hidden Lord was testing him. After careful consideration, he replied, "What about the hidden forces of the Sui sect and the San Chen Palace? The Zhu Li tribe has its hidden sect, surely they have concealed methods as well, not all of which are displayed openly." Half right, the Hidden Lord said, "We've always controlled the enemy's overt strength and movements. So, no matter where they attack, the Zhu Li tribe's top experts can rush there to reinforce immediately. In such a confrontation, the Zhu Li tribe has nothing to fear. But the Zhu Li tribe is on the defensive. We must defend the Zhu Li Dao Academy, Zhu Li City, the Zhu Li Divine Temple, and the Ancestor Realm. We must also protect the ancestral mountains of the 9 great tribes, as well as all the villages, towns, and city gates. If the enemy suddenly unleashes 1, 2, or 3 hidden forces to break through our defenses and slaughter our people, should we rush to their rescue? Li Wei replied, rushing to their rescue would put us entirely on the defensive, potentially leaving us spread too thin. Why not take the initiative and launch an offensive? The Sui sect's foundation lies along the Shui River, while the San Chen Palace's roots are on the 3 land routes. Destroying Zhu Li City would be meaningless to them. As for other forces like Guanshan, Heavenly Cliff Ridge, and Dragon Sect, they're too far away to be relevant. The true initiative lies in choosing the battlefield for the decisive battle. The Hidden Lord said, to seize the initiative, we must choose our own battlefield, not be led by the enemy. Initially, we plan to use the Immortal Star to lure all our enemies to the Kandli tribe's ancestral mountain and wipe them out in one fell swoop, sacrificing the entire Kandli tribe to secure the Zhu Li tribe's peace. Therefore, we secretly informed Xin of the Earth Wolf King's army about the Immortal Star's presence within the Kandli tribe. At the same time, we prepared to leak the news to Yang Shenjing and the others before the decisive battle. Li Wei asked, why did you change your mind? The Hidden Lord's eyes burned with fervor as he looked at him, for 2 reasons, one external and one internal. Externally, the Zhuoqiu clan has resolved to contend for dominion over the world and requires the Zhu Li tribe's unwavering support in all aspects. Therefore, they will lend us their full strength in this battle. This means the Zhu Li tribe no longer needs to make such a great sacrifice. After all, the Kandli tribe is Zhu Li's foremost tribe, with a population of millions. Who could bear to personally condemn so many of their own people to death? Internally, it's because of you. Me. Li Wei asked. The Hidden Lord replied, the information you brought back was too important. As long as the leader returns in 10 years, even if Xin breaks through to that realm using the Immortal Star, he'll have to relinquish it. Until then, the Earth Wolf King's army will become a puppet enforcer for the Zhu Li tribe. Wei, will the leader really return in 10 years? Before handing over the Immortal Star, the Hidden Lord had been decisive. But afterward, he couldn't calm his mind, which was why he had come to Li Wei again to confirm. Li Wei hadn't expected the Hidden Lord to make such a risky decision, one that could potentially backfire, solely because of his trust in him. If he dared to reveal the truth now, he'd likely be slapped to death by the Hidden Lord. The leader will definitely return, within 10 years, absolutely. Li Wei's eyes were resolute as he clenched his fist and spoke. Since it was because of him that the Hidden Lord had made this misjudgment and decision, he would not betray that trust. Within 10 years, he would personally retrieve the Immortal Star. A smile spread across the Hidden Lord's face. After parting ways with the Hidden Lord and Yin Li Wei, Yin Shi-san, Yin Shi-san, and Yin Shi-si left the Immortal Realm space and entered the path leading to the martial mystic 5 Seas Realm Cultivators, town. This path ran along the mountaintop, following the ridge. The ground was covered in frost, and the snow was nearly a foot deep, a stark contrast to the scorching heat of the path in the surging spring realm. Once they passed through the Qi barrier, Li Wei looked down at Burial Immortal Town, which seemed to be within arm's reach. He noticed that the thick, bright pillar of light erupting from the town was beginning to fade. It was clear that the light column was spewing forth from an ancient well in the northeastern corner of Burial Immortal Town. Did my blood really trigger the anomaly in Burial Immortal Town? What secrets does my blood hold? Who am I, really? Li Wei resolved that before leaving, he must seek out Zhenhai Guanwu to unravel these mysteries. He couldn't continue living in such a state of confusion. They descended from the ridge and followed the Sui River along the 5 Seas realm boundary. As expected, the path was clear, with no sign of enemies. However, they didn't encounter Yin Zhu or Kang Li. After traveling 100 miles, they reached the spot where they had parted ways with the 9 first commanders when they first entered the town. This place was littered with shocking battle scars. The river channel had been cleaved open, creating a wide gap dozens of meters long. Parts of the mountain had collapsed, and vast swaths of trees had been reduced to charred remains. The Yao Li tribe's army was stationed on the plains by the river, 4 miles away. Wei, the hidden sect's secret base is located at Mountain Lord Taiching's tomb, 30 miles west of Yaoguan City. Once you've made your decision, meet us there. Yin Shi-san and Yin Shi-san headed into the Mengshan mountain range, quickly disappearing into the immortal mist clouds. Li Wei turned to Yin Shi-si beside him. Aren't you going with senior brother Yin Shi-san? If you can go to the Yao Li tribe's camp, why can't I go back to see my father? He's injured. Yin Shi-si tilted her chin haughtily and strode ahead toward the military camp. Didn't you tell me that becoming a hidden one meant severing ties with the past? Li Wei hurried to catch up, walking half a step ahead. I can use Sima Qin's identity. What's your real name? Using the identity of Sima Qin's companion should be reasonable enough, right? Yin Shi-si said with a mock fierce tone, then took a half step forward, gently leaning against him. Her heart pounded wildly in her chest. Blank. End of chapter. Novel. The Primordial Law. Volume 2. Julie Insect Valley. Chapter 111-139 Qianlong Lantern Festival. 111th of Volume 2. Translator. Shadow Knight AK. Editor. Shadow Knight AK. On the plains beside the river, the Yaoli tribe's camp sprawled across 100 acres, shrouded in the heavenly tree light and shadow, formed by formations. It was as if a primordial divine tree had taken root in the center of the camp, its branches and leaves spreading out to cover several miles around. A dense ring of formation glyph stone stele stood along the outer perimeter of the camp. 12 observation lanterns floated in the sky above. Inside the camp, Li Wei found Yaoyan and Yin Shiwu waiting for him. Both were pure immortal physiques, one veiled, the other masked. They hadn't followed the younger martial mystic cultivators participating in the Mangshan Grand Festival to the Zhuli Divine Temple to avoid the war. After exchanging greetings, Li Wei turned his gaze toward Zhao Zhizhuo, who was emerging from a tent and walking toward them. "Old Zhao, how's your recovery?" Zhao Zhizhuo had remained on the ship these past few days, using the blood crystals Li Wei had given him to heal his lungs. He looked several years younger, his steps light and brisk. He cupped his hands in a salute and transmitted his voice through spiritual qi, reporting to young master, 5 of my lung lobes are almost completely healed, and I can reopen my qi at any moment. However, the injured bones and depleted blood qi in my body will likely take several years of cultivation with spiritual qi to fully recover to their former peak. 14 years ago, Yao Qian not only shattered Zhao Zhizhuo's spring and qi, but also inflicted burial snow sword qi upon him. This sword qi would cause severe frostbite to his bones and muscles within a short time, even freezing his blood. Zhao Zhizhuo survived only because he received timely treatment. However, his bones had become brittle like those of an elderly man, and his blood qi no longer possessed the vigor of a 5 seas realm martial mystic cultivator. Take your time, Li Wei said, use more blood crystals to nourish yourself. If you need more, just let me know. Li Wei had earned a considerable amount of blood crystals from this journey, and his tone had changed accordingly. He now spoke with the air of a nouveau riche, flaunting his newfound wealth. Zhao Zhizhuo had something to report but hesitated, finally asking, what are your plans next, young master? Will you return to Burial Immortal Town? Li Wei's heart stirred. Do you want to enter the Immortal Realm space to seek opportunities? If he could help Zhao Zhizhuo recover his cultivation to the 5th stage of the 5 seas realm as soon as possible, they might be able to earn another fortune together in Burial Immortal Town. Li Wei quickly dismissed the idea. The immortal haze-tainted herbs in Burial Immortal Town had been almost completely harvested. Only 33 Li Mountain still held some, but it was incredibly dangerous. Li Wei couldn't guarantee that a second expedition would be as uneventful as the first. Moreover, to enter the mountain, one must pass the gauntlet of the top young powerhouses, the Heartless Golden Ape, Yang Qingxi, and Chen Wenwu. The risks are immense. Li Wei added, with war looming, Yaoguan City and Burial Immortal Town will inevitably become a major battleground. At our cultivation levels, it's wise to leave as soon as possible. Having witnessed the Hidden Lord and the Lord's aura and methods, Li Wei understood the terrifying nature of a clash between true powerhouses. If they, as young juniors, were caught in the crossfire, even a stray ripple of energy could leave them dead on the spot. When the entire Li province is engulfed in flames, where will you go to escape the chaos? The deep voice came from the direction of the tent, audible only to their small group. Yao Xingyu, the Zhuli first commander, strode forward in his spiritual artifact armor, his tall figure as erect as a celestial peak piercing the sky. He was accompanied by Yin Shi. Li Wei had already met this renowned first commander during his time on the Yao Banner ship. Now, having reached the 5 seas realm, he stood firm despite the deliberate aura Yao Xingyu exuded, meeting the first commander's gaze with composure. After all, Yao Xingyu was an elder. Li Wei, far from being arrogant, clasped his hands in a respectful bow. Yao Xingyu stopped about 10 feet away. Now you understand what a first commander level figure can achieve with a secret technique and focused perception, don't you? Thank you for your guidance, first commander, Li Wei replied. Their conversation with Zhao Zhizhuo had been conducted through spiritual qi transmission, yet Yao Xingyu, 20 feet away, had overheard every word. The terrifying power of perception and the profound mystery of such techniques were completely beyond the comprehension of a 5 seas realm martial mystic cultivator. Be more careful in the future. If you refine your spiritual qi to the 2nd level of the 5 seas realm, condensing it into tangible form, I won't find it so easy to steal it again. Yao Xingyu's gaze shifted to Yaoyan, and he sighed, all of you, leave Li province immediately and don't return until the war's outcome is clear. This isn't desertion, it's like burying the best seeds in the soil when wildfire sweeps through. Next spring, new sprouts will emerge from the ashes. Yin or Shi Si, as if born with a rebellious streak, retorted, with war raging across the land, slaughter everywhere, and demons and ghosts running rampant, is there truly a safe haven outside Li province? I'd say it's even more dangerous out there. Go to Chu Prefecture. Yao Xingyu said, among the entire southern territory, Chu Prefecture is currently the most stable, followed by Fu Prefecture, which remains under the control of the imperial court. Both prefectures belong to the 10 prefectures of the Central Plains, far from the dead spirit fiends. They boast thriving civilizations and populations exceeding 100 million. According to the latest news, the Due Calamity Crossing Temple will host the Qianlong Lantern Festival in Chu Prefecture's capital city. They've invited young talents from all 28 provinces of Lingxiao to celebrate the festival together. Rumor has it they'll offer several immortality pills, dragon seeds, and dragon bones as gifts to the Qianlong hidden dragons. With your cultivation levels, you naturally shouldn't expect to obtain those hidden dragon treasures. However, since the Due Calamity Crossing Temple and the Zuaoqiu sector are organizing such a grand event to make a splash, they're sure to guarantee safety. You can temporarily seek refuge there, and it will also be a chance to broaden your horizons. Yin, on your way, stop by Yingling Valley and visit your mother's tomb. It remains a deep regret that I couldn't bring her remains back to our ancestral mountain. Those stubborn old fogies in the clan have always blocked me. Once they're all gone, I'll personally bring her home. Li Wei, unaware of the Due Calamity Crossing Temple's true nature, muttered, Qianlong Hidden Dragon Lantern Festival. That name. It's as if they're completely disregarding the Lingxiao Palace. Yao Xingyu clearly felt the term, Hidden Dragon, was taboo, fearing it might provoke powerful figures from the Lingxiao Palace. He said, the Due Calamity Crossing Temple has its own foundation. Legend has it that when Zhenhai Guanwu defeated Lei Xiao to establish the Immortal Palace, they had the support of the Due Calamity Crossing Temple, or perhaps their sect. The Due Calamity Crossing Temple stance is essentially telling the world that the Lingxiao Palace's time is over, and they're now siding with the Zuaoqiu sect. Yang Yun was taken by the Zhu Li clan in exchange for hostages from the Sui sect. After handing Shang Ji's body to Yao Xingyu for disposal, they left the Yao Li tribe's military camp that night. Yin or Shi Si, Yin or Shi Wu, and Yao Yin went ahead to the hidden sect's base, Mountain Lord Taiching's tomb, to meet with Yin Shisan and the others. Clap. Li Wei and Zhao Zhizhuo spurred their horses toward Yaoguan City. Zhao Zhizhuo had informed him that First Commander Li Songolin of the Kandli armor had been severely wounded by Yao Qian and was on the verge of death. In the recent battle of First Commanders on the banks of the Shui River, the Qingli First Commander was killed, and several others were severely wounded. Yao Qian defeated 6 opponents single-handedly, achieving such a complete victory. Some say he could have taken on 9 opponents and still won, crushing all 9 Zhuli First Commanders. Yao Qian's cultivation now is more than 10 times stronger than it was 14 years ago, Zhao Zhizhuo remarked from horseback. Li Wei's expression flickered between dark and uncertain. Since arriving in this world, Li Songolin had been the most genuine elder to him, perhaps partly because of a misunderstanding about his relationship with Li Ling. But gratitude was gratitude. If one couldn't distinguish between grudges, affection, and loyalty, one couldn't stand tall in the world. No wonder the Hidden Lord was furious and determined to kill him. The Kandli tribe's army was the strongest among the Zhuli clan. Stationed outside Yaoguan City was the Tower Army, known for its strict discipline and grand formations. The formation's brilliance condensed into a 100-foot-tall azure giant tower, as large as a mountain, suspended in midair, intimidating all martial mystic cultivators within a 100-mile radius. After the First Commander's battle, Yaoguan City was on high alert, fully mobilized for war. All important figures from the tribe had already entered the military camp. When Zhao Zhizhuo presented the token Li Ling had given him, a 7-spring soldier in spiritual artifact armor quickly entered the camp to report. Li Ling, a great spiritual master in the Heavenly Fire Realm and the Netherlight Guide, naturally carried considerable weight. Shortly after, she strode out of the camp with brisk steps, wearing a red martial uniform under her armor, her hair tied in a ponytail, her figure valiant and spirited. Her gaze naturally fell on Li Wei, who had used the transformation technique to disguise himself. "I'm here to visit fourth uncle," Li Wei said in his own voice. "These two are fine. Let them in," she said. After entering the military camp's formation, Li Ling led Li Wei to Li Songolin's dark-colored tent, where he was recovering from his injuries. She followed them inside. "Fourth uncle," Li Ling called out. Li Songolin looked much better than Li Wei had expected. He was half reclining in a chair, his hair loose, his complexion only slightly pale. Li Wei breathed a silent sigh of relief and smiled. "In the Yao Li tribe's military camp, Zhao Zhizhuo told me your injuries were extremely severe. I was terrified. I immediately whipped my horse and rode here. And when we entered the camp, Li Ling was so serious and silent, I thought. You thought I was about to die. It was just a defeat in battle. I'm not going to die so easily. Li Songolin continued, I've always been this useless, but you're different. You won a great victory at Burial Immortal Town. When I heard the news, my injuries healed by half right away. Amazing. I think your future achievements will surpass Kang Li's. Fourth girl, you need to hurry up and catch up. Li Ling retorted coldly, stop trying to act tough. If father hadn't treated you in time, fourth uncle, you would have already turned into an ice sculpture. Instead, you're just left with useless legs. We will avenge you with Yao Qian's death. Li Weiyi's smile froze. He immediately knelt down and reached for Li Songolin's legs. His arms swept through the wide, thick pantaloons. Clatter. Empty. Nothing. Li Songolin's legs ended abruptly at the knees. Li Weiyi's heart plummeted like a roller coaster, plunging from the heights of joy into the icy abyss of despair. He grabbed Li Songolin's arm to examine it. Like Zhao Zhijuo, Li Songolin had been corroded by the burial snow sword qi. His tendons and bones, once frozen, had become brittle even after thawing, losing the resilience of a top-tier martial mystic cultivator. Fortunately, his spring and qi remained intact, allowing him to slowly refine the burial snow sword qi and heal his body. What a burial snow sword qi! At that moment, Li Weiyi's eyes burned with murderous intent, praying the hidden lord would swiftly claim Yao Qian's head. He retrieved a large bottle of golden spring from his cosmic pouch and pressed it into Li Songolin's hands. Kneeling down, he said softly, Fourth uncle, this golden spring is a rare treasure for strengthening bones, found in the immortal realm space. It will surely restore your damaged tendons and bones, even surpassing their former strength. Why give such a treasure to a cripple like me? Use it to strengthen your own bones. Li Songolin, of course, knew how precious golden spring from the immortal realm space was. He picked up the iron bottle to return it to Li Weiyi, but his eyes widened in surprise when he realized the bottle was full. You found so much golden spring, you little rascal. Blank. End of chapter. Novel. The Primordial Law. Volume 2. Julie Insect Valley. Chapter 112-140 Kang Li's Berserk Fury. 112th of Volume 2. Translator. Shadow Knight AK. Editor. Shadow Knight AK. Li Weiyi pressed down on Li Songolin's arm, gently patting his hand. Fourth uncle, just accept it. I still have some left, enough for bone forging. Li Songolin didn't argue further, accepting the favor. If he could use the golden spring to restore his tendons and bones, even without his legs, at least his cultivation and combat strength would remain. Half an hour later. Stepping out of the tent, Li Weiyi felt a heavy weight pressing down on his spirits. It was a pity that the disparity in cultivation was too great, otherwise, he would have already been on his way to Burial Immortal Town with his sword drawn. He asked, Li Ling, is there no miraculous medicine in this world that can regrow severed legs? Li Ling replied, there are some millennial essence herbs that can regenerate severed limbs, but only if the martial mystic cultivator first abandons their cultivation. Martial mystic cultivators' legs are different from those of mortals, they involve the spring of the foot and the body's meridian veins, far more complex than mere flesh and blood. Do you think fourth uncle would be willing to abandon his cultivation? Isn't there any other way? Li Weiyi pressed. Li Ling said, yes, the immortality pill. When a Dao Seed Realm martial mystic cultivator enters the immortal realm, they can reshape their physical body, essentially starting a new life journey. Inside the tent, Li Songolin's voice rang out, fourth girl, stop talking nonsense. What makes you think your fourth uncle looks like someone who could reach the immortal realm? Forget the immortality pill, we don't even have the right to smell it. Even if we could get one, breaking through that realm isn't so easy. Li Weiyi turned back to the tent, fully aware that Li Songolin had been feigning ease and openness from the start. For a once proud clan leader to be reduced to a crippled man confined to a chair must be a deeply painful experience. The immortality pill. Li Weiyi silently made a note of it and asked, Li Ling, where is your father? I'd like to pay my respects to him. My father. He's stationed in Zhuli City, not at Yaoguan. My mother is here in camp. Would you like to pay your respects to her? Li Ling replied. Li Weiyi pondered this, then asked, in your family, is it really your mother who calls the shots? My father simply dislikes dealing with miscellaneous affairs. He's a dedicated scholar who prefers to shut himself away to study various otherworldly coffin scriptures, Li Ling explained. Li Weiyi asked, besides cultivating spiritual power, does he also cultivates the martial mystic path? I suppose he does, but he doesn't enjoy it and isn't very skilled, Li Ling said. Li Weiyi pressed further, is your brother in camp? You've investigated my entire family. What exactly are you plotting? Li Ling asked curiously. Li Weiyi didn't know how to explain. After a moment of silence, he whispered, I'm leaving. Before I go. Qi Shanshan should still be in the camp. I want to see her one last time. It's inconvenient. Li Ling immediately refused, adding, my brother isn't in the camp, but he values her immensely and has dispatched 2 5C's realm experts to guard her. Even I find it incredibly difficult to see her. I advise you not to harbor any ulterior motives, or my brother will fight you to the death. By the way, where are you going? Aren't you supposed to be able to sense things? Try sensing this time. After leaving the tower army camp, Li Wei and Zhao Zhizhuo mounted their horses. Boom, boom, boom. With thunderous hoofbeats, the two men charged toward the dense forest of the Mengshan mountain range. Li Wei adopted a thoughtful expression. Old Zhao, if I needed you to sneak back into the tower army camp and capture a woman silently, could you do it? The tower army is filled with experts. Even if my cultivation were fully restored, it would be impossible, let alone at my current level. Zhao Zhizhuo said with a bitter laugh. The Mengshan mountain range was vast, with countless peaks, valleys, and streams. Under the immortal mist clouds drifting over from Burial Immortal Town, the forest seemed endless, the wilderness boundless, creating a sense of profound vastness that seemed to stretch forever. 10 miles into the mountains, the mountain paths disappeared. Li Wei dismounted and surveyed the surrounding terrain. I can help you restore your cultivation, but you must help me capture this person for me. There's always a way to do things in this world. What seems impossible to you might be easy for someone else. The key is finding the right person. Young master, who is this person? Zhao Zhizhuo asked. Li Wei replied, Kang Li and Li Ling's mother, the all-powerful matriarch of your Kangli tribe. Someone as shrewd as her wouldn't fail to see through Qi Shanshan's true nature. I've heard she was the most opposed to Kang Li and Qi Shanshan's relationship. Go to her and tell her I'm taking Qi Shanshan away. She'll definitely help you. For the next 2 days, Li Wei and Zhao Zhizhuo found a secluded mountain valley and devoted all their energy to reopening Zhao Zhizhuo's qi. Throughout the process, Zhao Zhizhuo remained blindfolded with a black cloth bag, sealing off his senses. Though he had his suspicions, he didn't voice them. Li Wei's kindness was too profound, tantamount to being reborn. The next evening, the sky darkened. Zhao Zhizhuo, seated cross-legged by the water, took a deep breath. Instantly, the air within a 3-mile radius surged, and immortal mist clouds and law energy poured into his body like a tidal wave, draining the very essence of the heavens and earth. His eyes blazed with divine light, a Tenjong halo of immortal haze radiating around him. The sound of thunder and wind echoed from his lung lobes, and his frost-touched hair shimmered with a fiery glow. Boom! With a lift of his arms, over 100 massive boulders along the stream's edge levitated, then exploded into dust with a deafening roar. Zhao Zhizhuo gazed at his arms, now shimmering with radiant colors, and felt the newly opened 5 seas and the spiritual qi coursing through his body. Overwhelmed with emotion, he couldn't help but weep tears of joy, roaring, Zhao Zhizhuo, has returned. 14 years of hardship have finally yielded to sweet reward. Across the stream, Li Wei, who had been cultivating his qi, opened his eyes and asked with a smile, with your current cultivation, do you think you could defeat Yang Qingxi? Zhao Zhizhuo waved his hand dismissively. Right now, my 5 seas have just reopened. Not only is my physical body and blood qi far weaker than at my peak, but it will take considerable time to fill my 5 seas with spiritual qi. My current combat strength is probably only slightly better than a 4th-stage martial mystic cultivator in the 5 seas realm. Yang Qingxi is a second-tier figure among the younger generation in Li Prefecture. She possesses the 9 springs pure immortal physique and reached the 4th stage of the 5 seas realm a year ago. How can I, a mortal of the 8th spring, possibly fight her? Li Wei's curiosity piqued. Old Zhao, why don't you tell me about the top young talents in Li Prefecture? What level are they at? With his cultivation restored, Zhao Zhizhuo's spirits soared. He sat down and began to explain. The second tier 1 mentioned earlier refers to figures like Yang Qingxi and Chen Wenwu. Those with the 4th stage 9 springs pure immortal physiques are 9 springs supreme at the 5th stage of the 5 seas realm, or even those with the 5th stage 8 springs pure immortal physiques. There are about 6 or 7 such individuals, each representing a major sector clan. The first tier, of course, belongs to Kang Li. He stands alone, far ahead of the rest. Though he's only at the 5th stage of the 5 seas realm, he's likely already cultivating the 6th or 7th sea. He could even hold his own against someone in the Dao Seed realm. The third tier comprises about 20 or 30 people. Only the top young talent from each clan of the Zhu Li tribe qualifies for this tier. Some of them are at the 5th stage of the 5 seas realm, while others are pure immortal physiques or 9 springs supreme at the 4th stage. The 4th tier consists of about 100 people. Anyone under 30 who has reached the 3rd realm qualifies, including Heavenly Fire Realm great spiritual masters. Li Wei frowned in silence, then chuckled wryly, so I wouldn't even make the top 100. They've been cultivating for 20 years, how long have you been at it? After spending so much time together, Zhao Zhizhuo wasn't foolish enough not to understand Li Wei's cultivation speed. He continued, the information I've shared is from before the Burial Immortal Town incident. This incident has caused a qualitative leap in the cultivation and physique of many young martial mystic cultivators. After Zhao Zhizhuo finished speaking, he knelt before Li Wei on one knee, his voice solemn. young master, I can never repay this debt in a lifetime. Please accept old Zhao's bow. Rising to his feet, he vaulted onto his horse and rode off, cracking his whip. I will bring Qi Shanshan to see you. With the young generation of Li Prefecture still unable to make a name for themselves, it seems I can abandon the idea of winning the immortality pill at the Qianlong Hidden Dragon Lantern Festival. Li Wei shook his head and sighed, then took out a radiant flame pill and swallowed it. With only 3 months until the Qianlong Lantern Festival, there was no way Li Wei could catch up in the martial mystic path. His priority was to break through to Great Spiritual Master and then head to the Tanggu Sea to help Yaoyan gather the sacred herb, Zaihe. But only a few moments later, Li Wei's eyes blazed with renewed determination. He pulled out the golden spring and took a long gulp, simultaneously devouring light to nourish fire and hammering his bones. Legend had it that once one achieved minor golden bone refinement, they could challenge ordinary 5th stage martial mystic cultivators of the 5 Seas realm with his physical strength alone. It was this terrifying power boost that drove the Wuxian golden ape to risk everything in its quest for the golden spring, hoping to become the Southern Territory's top young talent. In the middle of the night, the sound of galloping hooves shattered the mountain's tranquility. Li Wei rushed out to greet the riders, but only Zhao Zhizuo returned. Zhao Zhizuo dismounted and hurried forward, his face flushed with excitement. I didn't fail the mission. Just as young master predicted, the matriarch despises Qi Shanshan, but out of maternal affection, she wouldn't act directly. He pulled a white sack, about the size of a burlap bag, from his sleeve and activated it with spiritual qi. Whoosh! The insect pouch quickly swelled. Qi Shanshan, clad in a pale blue, exquisitely embroidered silk robe, tumbled out. While insect pouches could hold living creatures, most had small openings. The larger the opening, the more difficult the pouch was to craft, making it extremely precious, capable of containing people or even mounts. Qi Shanshan, at the second spring opening stage of the martial mystic path, quickly rose and surveyed her surroundings. Spotting Li Wei in the darkness, the panic in her eyes vanished instantly. She gracefully twirled a strand of hair, a smile playing on her lips. Oh, it's you, Wei. Long time no see. Why did you have to go to such lengths to see Sister Shanshan? I've missed you too. Why haven't you visited me in so long? Li Wei studied her, inwardly astonished. In just over half a year, Qi Shanshan had shed every trace of her modern Earth origins. Moreover, Kang Li had gathered the crimson haze herbs for her, transforming her into a pure immortal physique. Her skin and features were flawless, her figure and bearing unmatched. With such charm and Qi Shanshan's exceptional intelligence and cunning, it was no wonder Kang Li had fallen for her. But was she truly just Qi Shanshan? Was Zhenhai Guanwu still within her? Li Wei said, I want to see Zhenhai Guanwu. Qi Shanshan's eyes darted back and forth before she spread her arms wide. I can't make her come out to see you. You'll have to try for yourself. No matter what you do, Sister Shanshan won't blame you. Li Wei wasn't fooled by her act. He secretly channeled his spiritual qi, preparing for Zhenhai Guanwu's possible appearance. He cautiously approached her, raising a finger to touch her brow. Rustle. A chilling night wind swept through the narrow, 10-yard-wide gorge between the two mountains. The grass and trees swayed like ghostly soldiers. If your hand dares to touch her, don't blame me for severing your arms, regardless of our past friendship. Li Wei, when a person loses their moral bottom line, no matter how great their achievements, they can't hide their filthy, despicable nature. She's your sister-in-law. This time, you've crossed my line. The words echoed through the valley, one syllable at a time. When the first word was spoken, Kang Li was still 3 miles away. By the time the word, line, fell, he stood on a boulder a dozen yards away, holding a 10-foot silver spear. His eyes flashed like lightning, radiating an aura of unyielding strength and commanding presence. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Melworld 1 YouTube channel.